7 of the hardest working rappers. Most of us don't really think of rappers as having hard jobs. Sure, there are plenty of hard aspects to what they do, but overall the average person probably has a tougher job than the average multi-millionaire rapper. It feels like they can just coast along through life, make a ton of money off their music, and enjoy themselves to the fullest. But is that really the truth? When you really look at it, rappers may not have hard jobs, but they definitely work hard. At least some of them do. If you are constantly writing and recording music, spending sleepless nights in the studio, touring across the country, and doing press, I can't really say you don't work hard. And that's what a lot of rappers do. Every day in a rapper's life is completely dominated by their career. With that being said, there are certainly some rappers that work harder than others. If you have ghostwriters or only release an album every 7 years, you're probably having a more relaxing time than another rapper that is constantly releasing a mixtape every month. There are definitely some rappers out there that are truly grinding day in and day out. Before we start the video though, make sure you like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now, here are 7 of the hardest working rappers in the game. Number 7, Lil B. Alright, I'm gonna start this list off with a bit of a sleeper pick. Lil B, also known as Based God, doesn't get a whole lot of attention these days, but his influence might just be stronger than ever. The word based has entered the worldwide vocabulary, and his sound can be heard all the way from SoundCloud into the mainstream. Even Uzi cites him as a major influence. And yeah, I know what you're gonna say, how can Lil B be one of the hardest working rappers out there? His music is incredibly simplistic. Regardless of how you feel about his bars, it's undeniable that there was once a time in history when Lil B was recording more rap music than any other person on earth. His music output has slowed down in recent years, but let's take a quick look at his history. In 2010, Lil B released 12 mixtapes. He released 9 in 2011, 16 in 2012. You see where I'm going with this? One of his 2013 mixtapes had 101 songs. He even has a tape with over 800 songs on it. This is completely ignoring the massive amount of songs that he would upload daily on his MySpace page. Oh, and the amount of music videos that Lil B has recorded is just mind-boggling. You don't have to love Lil B's music. In fact, I don't even expect you to like it. But his name definitely deserves to have some respect. He definitely put an insane amount of work into his career back in the day. Number 6, Future. Here's a fun fact that you might not have been aware of. Future has been in the game for a lot longer than you might think. While most people peg the beginning of his career at about a decade or so ago, he's actually been rapping for quite a bit longer than that. He was even part of the Dungeon Family, an Atlanta music group with ties to Outkast and Goody Mob from back in the day. So yes, he's been working towards his current level of success for quite some time. With that said, I won't lie. The real beginning of Future's career really was around 2010 or so, and he really hit the ground running at that time. In 2010, he released 2 mixtapes and dropped 6 more that next year. Since then, he's jumped between releasing studio albums and tapes, but his resume has been seriously padded by a massive amount of singles and featured songs. It really feels like Future has given more verses to other rappers than almost anybody else currently in the game. But when it comes to Future's work ethic, let's keep something else in mind. The guy is always keeping his ears to the streets. It seems like no new talent ever comes up in the game without him noticing it. He has a real knack for finding new sounds and new artists right as they become popular, and his dedication to this has led a long period of relevancy that is almost unheard of. Other rappers might do more recording, but it seems like Future does more research. Number 5, Juice WRLD. When Juice WRLD passed away in late 2019, we lost one of rap's most promising new stars. He had only just begun to show us what he was capable of at that time of his passing, but it was clear that his versatility was just completely unmatched. He could make emo rap, he could make pop and rock-inspired tracks, and he could really spit. Seriously, have you ever seen a video of him freestyle? Even Young Thug was blown away. Juice WRLD was just a natural. But there was definitely more to Juice WRLD than just his sheer talent. He had a real passion for rapping, and that was displayed in his work ethic. Shortly after his death, it was reported that he had about 2,000 unreleased tracks just sitting around. Let's do the math on that one. It's generally thought that he started rapping around 2015, and that's when he started posting songs to SoundCloud. He died in 2019. That means that in just 4 short years, he recorded over 2,000 songs. That's 500 a year. That's more than 1 song a day. I mean, can any rapper compete with that? This is a great thing for Juice WRLD fans, as that means there's plenty of music that can be used for posthumous albums. It can sometimes feel a bit forced when albums are stitched together after an artist's death, but if you have over over 2,000 songs just sitting around in a vault, it seems like at least some of those should come to life. I imagine that's what Juice would have wanted. Number 4, Lil Wayne. It may not be quite as true anymore, but there was a time when Lil Wayne was inarguably the biggest rapper in the world. Starting from humble beginnings in rap as a child star, Wayne rose through the ranks and showed that he was capable of bringing hip-hop to a wider audience than it had ever been expected. A major part of that was his excellent work ethic. Even from the beginning of his career, Wayne released a lot of music. An album a year was basically standard fare to the Cash Money rapper until around the time of the Carter 3. But there's a reason that his studio album output slowed down around this time. As one of the champions of the mixtape era, Lil Wayne dropped tape after tape, and many of them were absolute classics. The Drought series, the Dedication series, No Ceilings, need I go on? But there's more to Wayne's legacy as a hardworking rapper than just dropping a lot of music. Lil Wayne will go down in history as one of hip-hop's greatest star makers. He always keeps his eye open behind the scenes, scouting fresh talent, lending verses, and mentoring new artists. He somehow found time in his very busy schedule to start off the careers of Nicki Minaj and Drake, among plenty of others as well. There should be no doubt that this guy put his time and soul into not only his rap career, but others as well. Number 3, Eminem. Eminem is, contrary to the rappers that I've already talked about on this list, a different kind of hard worker. His back catalog isn't completely filled with albums and mixtapes. He didn't release a new song every week, but Eminem did something very different at a time when other rappers were favoring quantity over quality. He took his time. It doesn't take a rap expert to know that Eminem is someone that is known for his lyrics. One thing that always made him stand out from his competitors was his sheer attention to detail. Sure, he had his fair share of cheesy lines and easy jokes like other rappers, but he also wrote complex stories into his songs. He designed verses that were filled with internal rhymes and interesting wordplay. This was someone who really worked hard on every word that he wrote, and it really showed. Another thing that I love about Eminem's work ethic is that he has never really stopped. Most other superstars that rose to prominence in the 90s and 2000s have dropped off the face of the earth or have simply slowed their output a ton. M, on the other hand, has never quit working. Some would argue that his bars have gone a bit dull in recent years, but he has never just given up and allowed himself to rest on his legacy. It's clear that he's someone who likes working hard, and that's something that's cool to see. Number 2, Young Thug. When you first look at Young Thug's discography, it might seem like he doesn't really deserve a spot on this list. He only has about 1 or 2 official albums, right? But his list of albums obscures a career that has been completely centered around hard work, starting from humble beginnings and slowly working his way up to earning the status as one of the most influential rappers in the world. Young Thug has done nothing but hard work since the start of his career. Let's take a look at his mixtapes real quick. Thug started his career off with the I Came From Nothing series back in 2011. Since then, he's dropped 23 tapes in just 10 years. That's a pretty remarkable pace. Some of those have been absolute classics too. So it's not just like he was just dropping random songs. He released Barter 6, Slime Season, and Slime Season 2 in the same year. But that is ignoring one of the most important aspects of Thug's career. He is always in the studio. Lurk around online for long enough and you'll find that he has a lot of unreleased and leaked songs. Like, a lot. The list only gets longer the more you look. Beyond that, Thug has built a label and essentially single-handedly brought us some of rap's current megastars, like Gunna and Lil Baby. It's almost like he works harder when no one is even looking. Number 1, Gucci Mane. Could I really give the number 1 spot on this list to anyone other than Gucci Mane? For almost 2 decades now, the father of Brick Squad has brought us an absolutely endless list of albums, mixtapes, singles, featured verses, and more. In terms of sheer studio hours, Gucci might just have the world record. Here are the stats: 34 albums, 7 EPs, 97 singles, 93 mixtapes. Yeah, you heard that last one right. Gucci Mane has released almost 100 mixtapes since 2006. And you know what's the craziest part? A fair amount of his career has literally been spent in jail, but that has somehow never seemed to slow his work down. In fact, he has come back from jail stronger every time. He's like a rap phoenix. Beyond his insane output, Gucci has somehow made some time for a few other endeavors. He appeared in the movie Spring Breakers, worked with Gucci, and even released his own autobiography that became a New York Times bestseller. Sometimes I feel like Gucci doesn't get enough credit for his hard work, but it doesn't even seem like he cares. He'll just be rapping until the very end. So which of these rappers do you think is the hardest working? Is there a rapper that I missed? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our channel.